Hello again, it's Jimmy here to Rise. So I have something a little bit different today. I'm going to try to convert one of my old work vans into a camper van. So here it is, Nissan NV200. So let's open it up and have a little look inside. So it's currently got a little bit of steel shelving and a metal bulkhead. I think those are the two first things that we're going to remove. Okay, so the bulkhead is pretty quick to get out. The shelving and the bulkhead. A few bolts that go all the way around the top and around the bottom basically. We're going to get that out. And bam, that's the shelving out. Bulkhead next. Okay, so let's talk about this bulkhead. So normal bolts. We've got some T30, T40 bolts there. But do have some 10mm bolts as well. But we did have a few here. I'm just going to get this off and we'll show you. Okay, so just along here we've got normal bolts. And then we've got in a few places some of these like anti-tamper bolts that we had to sort of grind off. Yeah, a little bit of 9. So now we're just left with this section. I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to leave that there yet, but we may take it off. We'll see how it goes. See what I feel like doing in a minute, how it looks. But as it sits like that, it's not really in the way, apart from these little bits of bolts that stick out. But if we need to get it off, a few more 10mm bolts there and we'll get that off as well. So before I sort of go any further into it, I must say that, look, I'm not a carpenter, I'm not an electrician, I do car repairs, but this is just a little bit of a project. I'm not going to do an A1 job, I'm not going to do this to, very good standards. I'm just going to do a quick, simple, cheapest sort of conversion that I can do. I've got a plan to give this to someone as a present, so I'm going to give it to my sister. She's been wanting to go to the Lake District for 12 years. I've been promising her that we're going to go there, but it's never really convenient to do it. And I was thinking if she had a little van like this, something to sleep in basically, then maybe we can make that happen. So if I convert it, just basically a very simple conversion. We're not looking to do anything fancy. We're not getting any professional kits. Just going to get some wood, make a bed, maybe put a solar panel on it, and a battery for the power, power stuff. And we'll see how it goes. I haven't made a draw on any plans of what I'm doing. I'm just going to take it sort of step by step. We'll put a bed in there and then we'll go from there. See how much room we have to put anything else if we can. So what I'm going to use here for most of the stuff is the eBay app. Some wood panels. I've got some more acoustic wood panels for the roof. Van linen carpet. A mattress. Some side windows for the van. Insulation. Stick-on insulation. A little roof vent. And just some other bits and pieces like these corner connecting brackets. Now the rest of this stuff, I've got it from eBay. Some bits of wood and some wood sheeting. This stuff here, so we're going to try and make a bed frame from that and see what else we can make from it as well. Now like I said, I've been wanting to do this for over 12 years. I've been promising her we'll sort something out. I'm going to make you a camper or whatever, but I've never really got around to doing it. Obviously recently I've lost my dad, and it makes you start to think, that you don't have all the time in the world. My dad was a big Elvis fan. He went to Graceland twice and I promised him I was going to go there with him, and of course I never got a chance to do that because you always think you can do it at any time, and you can't. My sister, a couple of years ago, she also had a scare with some skin cancer. She got through it, but it makes you realise that you don't have all the time in the world. So I'm gonna try and make the most of that while I've got it. But enough of that story. Let's crack on with the van. Okay, so I've got a little prop stand here, a wood cutting table, some batteries, and a jigsaw. Okay, so the mattress dimensions are going to be 190 by 90 centimeters, so we're going to cut this wood out for that shape. Just going to make like a base with this. Okay, so here's what I've done so far. I've chopped up some of these panels, made a bed base, put some straighteners across that. We're going to get some wood slats to go across to make the bed frame support, whatever you call it. just put a little piece of wood across the back just to finish it off. So we've got storage under the bed there. Now the slats will be able to pull back so you can access under the bed as well. Now as I was just going through it, I thought, yeah, you know what, I could sort of come up here and make a little stand for a tableside bed, bedside table, sorry. Maybe for TV or whatever. Another little storage piece under there, and then a secondary piece under there. I think this is where I'm going to fit like a battery and inverter under there. Maybe a split charger and a solar panel. Now just the last minute thought I had here was, while I was looking at this, maybe I could come up here with another piece of sheet and just put like a wall here for like plug sockets or whatever, USB chargers maybe, and then you could fit the wire in sort of behind it and come down to where the battery is going to be located here. So from the driver's side sliding door, I'm not sure whether or not I should put like an opening here, a door or whatever for access. So I've just put a little sort of bulkhead board at the front, and that's what it looks like from this side. And if we come over here, obviously that's what it looks like from there so far. So I do need to sort out the roof soon. So I've got this plug socket and a little USB port ready to go on. So I've got a little panel here that I've cut out. I just marked out where I'm going to fit these, and we're going to get them cut out again with a jigsaw. So just like that, now we've drilled them out, fit them in, and they can go on like that. So basically I'm going to mount that right there. Okay, so these tools I'm using are a little bit too old, as well as the jigsaw, so made a little trip down to Screwfix, some jigsaw, a sharp Stanley knife, carpenter knife, and sharp scissors. Got this stretchy carpet, cut a sheet of that out. I'll show you what I'm going to do with this now. Just going to stick this carpet over this panel, and then we're just going to use it to cover some of the side panels in the van, just so it looks a little bit cleaner. So that's it, basically. Made that little panel, we've covered it in the stretchy carpet. Okay, so now I've covered those in the carpet lining, we've just put them on the wall there. Now I've used that grip fill to stick it on. I don't know if there's a better way of doing that, but it's the only way I could think. Without obviously putting visible sort of brackets on the outside, but hopefully that will hold. Okay, so we've got this battery to go in there. I am still waiting on a few other bits and pieces to come. They may not be here until tomorrow. I was hoping just to get all this van sort of started and finished in one day if I can, but I might have to go into the second day with it, because just waiting on some of the delivery parts. We haven't received everything yet. This one comes from Renogy, so it's the same stuff that I use in my van. Yes, there's Renogy there. I've got it fitted in both of these vans as well. Okay, so there's the battery out of the box. It's got a little bit of dust on it. I was just cutting some wood there. So it's a 300 amp hour 12 volt battery, deep cycle lithium iron phosphate. It's quite a big battery, very decent. Some might say it's bigger than you need, but you can't have too much power, I don't think, or too much of a reserve bank. So hopefully this is gonna do the job what we need. 300 amp hours, 3840 watt hours, 200 amp, all of that there. 10 years lifespan. Now luckily I didn't even measure that, but it's going to fit perfectly in there. So if it didn't fit in there, what I was going to do was maybe make a little boxed off section up the front of the bed there, battery, inverter and all that stuff up there, and sort of partition it off. But I think maybe we'll use it here, and we'll mount the inverter maybe here or something. I might put a split charge system in to the alternator. I don't know if we'd need that if we've got a solar panel on the roof. So next here from Renogy again, I've got an inverter. I have got a 3000 watt inverter and a 1000 watt inverter. I think I've decided to put the 3000 watt inverter in my van, and I'll use the 1000 watt inverter for this camper. I don't think we're going to need more than that. unless we're going to use an electric gas cooking hob. But yeah, this comes with a remote, so you can switch it on and off. So if you do mount that under the bed or something like that, you can switch it on and off remotely. Comes with the cables and a household plug there. Okay, so the next thing I've got here is a battery monitor. So I'm going to cut a new hole again in this piece of wood here. So I've got a new jigsaw. This one is kind of pissing me off because to go straight you have to sort of hold. If you want to go straight, you got to hold it to the left a bit. It's a bit, I don't know. So we just got a new one. I've changed all my tools to DeWalt recently. This is not a sponsor for DeWalt, but yeah, if DeWalt is watching, I won't say no. Okay, so we're almost done. The last little piece. Okay, a little bit of an update. What I've done is put a 12-volt light there. That's powered down to the battery again. We've put USB charging points. We've put a battery monitor here. We've put an on and off remote switch for the inverter and a 240-volt socket. That still needs to be screwed in. These have been wired down the back. Down here, got fuse box here. Inverter is up there, and this is for the battery monitor. I'm going to try and tidy that up a little bit better than wires. Next thing I can do today is get this roof vent on. I am missing the roof panels, so I'm going to have to leave that for the second day, like I said. But if I can get all the rest done in the one day, then one more I can get done, the better, of course. So I'm going to try and get this fitted. Now on the roof there isn't much gap between these structural supports, so unfortunately I'm going to have to cut through one of these. So I've drawn out a 40cm square here on the roof. I don't know if you can see that just about. So I'm going to cut that out with a disc cutter. So that's it. The hole is now cut. Let's hope I cut it the right size. Okay, so I've just put it in. It's not in fully yet because I need to wait for the roof panels, like I said, before we're going to glue it down and screw it. So that's what it looks like from the top. So this is facing the rear of the van. I'm going to need to turn this around because you always want your hinges at the front. So if you're driving, wind force is pulling this way. Okay, yeah, so the next things we're missing, of course, is I'm going to cut this panel out, put windows on each side. Then it would be to put the bed slats across here. So we're still waiting on those, and we're waiting on the windows for the sides here, and we're waiting for the panels that go on the roof. Okay, so I've got these wood panels for the back doors, and what I'm going to do is cut around this stretchable sort of carpet fabric. We're going to wrap that around there, glue it on. Okay, so now I'm going to get some glue onto the carpet, just like that, all the way across. Out to the edges. Just don't want to go over, don't want to make a mess on the floor or the ground. Now we can place the wood on top, just like that. Fold this over. So that's it. Basically stuck it all the way around, cut most of the excess off, just stick it around, and then this is going to be the back. There's some of the offcuts that we've done there, and on the other side it should look something like that. Now the next step is I've got some of this insulation. This is the insulation we bought from eBay. It's got silver foil and sort of like a sticky sponge, a couple of different layers basically. So basically we'll layer out the roof of the van like that, and behind the panels there where they're going to go. So now I've put that on the door like that. So I've decided to use some of these because I'm not sure if the grip fill will keep it held, especially since we're going on to insulation now as well. So I decided just to use those little brackets, whatever you call them. We've got that now fitted on the back door, so just makes it a little bit nicer. Now a lot of people will, you know, stretch carpet the whole door, but I find it very difficult to make a nice job of it. I think that's plenty good enough for what we need. So I've got my little helper holding it on here, and we're just screwing these in. That's it, that's the back door done. And what we're going to do is remove these little panels and put some more of that insulation basically in there against the back. Okay, so the next step I've done here is just to tidy up the wheels a bit. They had lots of rust, scabbing. Just gave them a really light rub down, nothing spectacular, and just some matte paint, aerosol sprayed on. So we haven't removed the wheels or anything, just done it on the van, and then we can put some wheel trims on just to finish it off a little bit better aesthetically. So that's it, I fitted those wheel trims on. Okay, so a little update on where we are so far. I've put a brace in here, I don't know if I showed that already. We've got our slats for the bed that can be pulled across like that. I've put a charge controller here, we haven't wired that up yet. It's got the inverter, it's got the battery. I've put a plug here, and that's just to divert some of the electricity over here, where I've put a tube heater which only takes about 40 watts of electric. I've added a cigarette lighter socket there just for anything that you want to plug in, basically. On and off switch for the inverter, I think I've already shown that. We've got the battery here, USBs, a plug. I have added a fridge under there, so I've ended up putting a little door here with a catch. I've made a drawer on some slider hinges so you can pull the fridge out. So the fridge is on, it's currently at -2. The fridge is Thermic Freeze, that's the brand, high gear. So it's actually on now, it's froze there, that's frozen. And it's on runners, so it can just slide back in. We've got some privacy blinds for the front. So these little pieces where the cuts have gone, we've got this tape that goes on there, got to put that on soon. Basically you stick it on and then you use a clothes iron to sort of heat it, and it melts the glue and makes it stick. We'll do that soon. Almost forgot the roof. I've used these wood acoustic panels, they're called. Yeah, so we've just stuck those in. The roof vent is all fitted in there perfectly. Now on the roof again from Energy there is a solar panel, and that's just where the top of the sunroof vent sits, siliconed in with some screws down. And here is our solar panel wiring, we just need to get that connected in. So maybe here in the future I could get a bit of vinyl cut out just to make it look nice, or carpet maybe, whatever. This is the only piece of the floor that you're going to see basically. Now on that side loading door we have got window to go in. We did have a window for both sides, but I got a message back from the company saying that they are out of stock. I did pay for it, but they're out of stock of these windows and they don't know when they're getting it back in, so I've just ended up putting a little wood panel there again just to cover that up. And we will be putting a sliding window on this side soon. It should have arrived today, but I haven't received it, so maybe it's going to be here tomorrow. That's it with the mattress in. We've got the mattress in there, still covered in its plastic, because I don't want to get it dirty for no reason until it's ready to be used. I don't know if I was thinking, you know, did I put the bed too high? Maybe I could have made the bed lower, but it's quite a thick mattress. Maybe if we had a mattress that wasn't so thick in depth, it would sit a bit lower, but I didn't want to be too close to the roof. It's not too close, but I'd prefer maybe if it was a little bit lower. But obviously we do need some storage space under here. And we're just giving it the old test. Nice and cozy. So that's just a little view from the front. In. And from the side, it's a lot of sun glare, sorry, but it's hard to see. I think it's good enough for what she wants to use it for. Okay, so here's where I am so far. I have cut a piece out of the side door, so I've taken out that panel and the window fitted in here now. So to do that, what I've done is just went around the line, drilled some holes just to follow the line from internally, drill the holes, and then you can follow the holes just with a pen, and then you go around with a jigsaw there and just cut the panel out. Okay, so we've had a little bit of bad news with the van. We've had a breakdown. So got most of the van done, and then on my way to pick up some parts over at Middle Keynes. The engine had a failure. Okay, so we've got the engine out of the van. Here is what we're looking at. Valve has dropped, it's went into the piston and literally broken to pieces. So it's been outside for the last week or so. It's taken me a fair while to try and get this sorted, but here's where the valve has snapped off down there. It's broken all of that to pieces basically. Here's all the pieces from the engine. So it's been quite a bit of stuff going on. I haven't videoed all of it, but we were quite busy and there was a lot of different mishaps going on because we got this is the engine that failed. I got this replacement engine delivered down, but when I looked at it a bit closer, slightly different. The fuel injectors are different, the fuel pump's different, the turbo is different, everything's basically, it's the same engine but all of the parts are different, and I didn't want to risk stripping down all the other parts from the other engine and putting them onto this one because I wasn't sure they were going to fit, so we had to end up getting another second-hand engine somewhere else. See, on this one here the flywheel is different, dual mass is different, and the clutch is different, turbo is different. Yeah, so we couldn't end up using this one. Yeah, so after a fair few days, to be honest, we had a lot of setbacks, but we've got a new engine in, we've got it running. Obviously I've used the old injectors from the old engine. The injector on cylinder number 1 was bent where that piston had, collapsed. It damaged the injector, so I had to put a new injector on there. Yeah, it's all up and running now. Okay, so that is it now. We're all finished on it. Give you a little walk around the outside first. Put these little decals on here. Got the window on the side like I showed before. Let's have a little look in the inside. Cleaned it up, some seat covers. We've got a CarPlay, Android Auto up there. Some more stickers and stuff. That's just if you open the side door. There. Got a TV on a bracket. That swivels around. Some storage nets on the side, and obviously the bed. It's the roof vent. And again, if we open the back doors, this is what it looks like. Move that out the way. So the TV can swivel all the way around, of course, and it can just be packed in out the way like so. Switches for the inverter here. Pretty sure I showed this at the start of the video, but we'll just show you it all working again. A little holder there for a TV remote, and that's where all the battery stuff works down there. And the storage is under the bed there, just like that. One last look at the roof. Some more storage nets on the rear doors. One last look from the driver's side. Again, pretty sure I showed already, but yeah, we'll put a little catch on there. Obviously I made the drawer with some runners that I got from Screwfix. The fridge comes out and it does run. It is cold and it just slides back in. This is a view in from the driver's side. So see, I'll put some extra USB sockets. I think I've already shown that. One over there, extra USB 12 volt socket ports, whatever you like to call them. The engine is now running nice and sweet. So that is the van. It's all finished. See you in the next video.